Good morning, students. Today we are learn DIN. DIN. What is the meaning of DIN? DIN stands for Director Identification Number. Last lectures we are learn directors, director meanings and provisions, rules with respect to appointment of a directors. We are learn last lecture. Next ones we are learn who can be the directors of a company. Who can be a directors of a company? A person should fulfill these two conditions to be eligible to become a director. Which two conditions? There is a first condition, only an individual can apply for directorships. Individual can apply for directorship. And second, for person should have been allowed a director identification numbers. What is director identification number? This ones we are learned today here. It means the directing identification number. Director identification number is a unique identification number for an existing directors or person intended to be the directors of a company. It's a unique director numbers. This is the second one. It is compulsory to acquire director identification numbers by every directors. Every director it must be required for director identification number. It's a compulsory. Next one, only a single director identification number is needed by an individual irrespective of numbers of directorship held by him. Only in a single director identification numbers is needed by the individual irrespective of number of directors held by him. Another ones are here, no on resignations of a person as a directors of a company, director identification number should not be cancelled. रिजाइन कर दिया फिर भी उसका डायरेक्टर आइडेंटिफिकेशन नंबर कैंसिल नहीं होगा. DIN is obtained through an online processing of filling an application which include a photograph, proof of residence, etc. Proof of resident duly attested by notice, results, officers, company secretaries. That documents are required. Duly attested by or notaries, gazette officers, company secretary, etc. These documents are required for the online processing for applications of DIN numbers. DIN is a prerequisite for e-filings of company's document. Director identification number is a prerequisite for electronic filing of company's documents. Computerized. Every document authorized by a director deed should mention his director identification number along with his name. This is the sum of the meanings of DIN, director identification number. It means the director identification number. What are the importance of director identification number? First, it helps the investor of the company to take more accurate and informed decisions because they get to know the compositions of the top management of the company. It means it helps the investor of a company to more accurate and informed decisions because they get to know the compositions of the top management of a company. It helps to handle the problem arising due to a company disappearing after collecting raising money from public. It helps in deductions and handling of offense committee by a directors. Is the some importance of the DIN. यहाँ पे क्या है, हेल्प किसको होगा, इन्वेस्टर को हेल्प होगा, किसके लिए, मोर एक्यूरेटी एंड इंफॉर्मेशन डिसीजंस के लिए. इट ऑल्सो हेल्प हैंडल द प्रॉब्लम अराइजिंग ड्यू टू द कंपनी. कंपनी में कुछ भी प्रॉब्लम आए तो उसको हैंडल करने में help होगा. Disappears after collecting raising money from public etc. There is also helping to deductions and हैंडलिंग ऑफ ऑफेंस कमिटीज बाय अ डायरेक्टर. कुछ कमिटी को हैंडल करना है उसके लिए भी हेल्प होगा DIN नंबर, डायरेक्टर आइडेंटिफिकेशन नंबर्स. Next ones we are learn today, we are learn here director identification number. What is director identification number and importance of director identification numbers. Next ones we are learn here qualification of a director. Which qualifications are required to the directors? The Company Act has not prescribed any academy or professional qualification for directors. Also, the Act does not impose any share qualification of them. So, unless the article of a company contains a provision, some provision, those ones we are learn, a director does not have to be the shareholders of the company. वो कंपनी का शेयर होल्डर्स नहीं होना चाहिए, उसके लिए कुछ स्पेसिफिक क्वालिफिकेशन नहीं है, कुछ प्रोफेशन क्वालिफिकेशन नहीं चाहिए. क्वालिफिकेशंस ऑफ द शेयर, it means a director is required to buy a share of a company if articles of the company state so. His qualifications are required here. His qualifications are required. Then सिंपल वर्ड में बोले तो डायरेक्टर की क्वालिफिकेशन क्या है? द कंपनी एक्ट से नो प्रिस्क्राइब एनी एकेडमी और प्रोफेशनल क्वालिफिकेशन ऑफ डायरेक्टर. कोई भी प्रोफेशनल क्वालिफिकेशन एक्वायर्ड नहीं है. एज द एक्ट डज नॉट इम्पोज एनी शेयर क्वालिफिकेशन ऑफ देम. यहाँ पे कोई शेयर होल्डर्स के शेयर क्वालिफिकेशन भी नहीं चाहिए. अनलेस आर्टिकल ऑफ कंपनी कंटेंट्स ऑफ प्रोविजंस, जो कंटेंट्स में दिया है आर्टिकल के प्रोविजंस, रूल एंड रेगुलेशन में दिया है, अगर वो सभी रूल्स एंड रेगुलेशंस यहाँ पे फॉलो हो रहे हैं तो वो डायरेक्टर्स के लिए कैपेबल है. डायरेक्टर डज नॉट हैव टू शेयर होल्डर्स ऑफ द कंपनी अनलेस विलिंगली ही विश टू बी वन. There is noteworthy point is that the usually article provide for minimum share qualifications are required. At least कुछ तो भी minimum share qualification उसमें होनी चाहिए directors में. This is the some qualifications of directors. We are learned today here what is DIN, what is the importance of DIN and qualification of directors. Now questions, what is DIN and next importance of DIN. Those two question answer write down in your notebook. Thank you students.